Good day, everyone. I am Cherogen M. Rustel, and today I am going to discuss how the Third World became the Global South, the origins of the Third World, and the global conception emerged from the experiences of Latin American countries. So, these two topics are the continuation of a world of regions. So, our learning objectives is at the end of the lesson, the students should be able to define the term Global South from the Third World and analyze how a new conception of global relations emerged from experience of Latin America. According to the International Encyclopedia of the Special Sciences edited by A. Hellblad of 2007, the world was largely divided into several empires in the 19th century, and each empire possessed a civilized central and peripheries that were more or less primitive or even barbaric. So when we say barbaric, it means of or relating to or characteristic of a group of people who are alien to another land, culture, or people, and who are usually believed to be inferior of, related to, or characteristics of barbarians. So also when we say barbaric, it means cruelty or inferiority. So next is let's differentiate the global north and the global south. So when we say global north, it is developed or high income countries. So the global north refers to the development countries of Europe and North America, which characterized by established wealth, technological advancement, and political stability, zero population growth, and dominance of world trade and politics. So, and while the global south is also called the developing or low income countries. So in Global South, it refers to the developing countries which represent mainly agrarian economies in Africa, India, Latin America, and other that are not as economically sound and politically stable. Some countries of Global South tends to be characterized by war, conflict, poverty, and tyranny. So when we say Global North, ang kaning Global North mo ni mga countries nga dato, while ang Global South mao ni ang medyo ay murag di sad ingong pobre, di sad ingong dato. So when we say Global North, it means developed countries, while the Global South it means the developing or underdeveloped countries. Next is the third world. So what is third world? So third world was coined by 1952 by Alfred Sauvé, a French demographer, anthropologist, and economic historian who compare it with the third estates, a concept that emerged in the context of the French Revolution. So first, let's define the first estate, second estate, and third estate. So first estate refers to clergy or the monarch. So when we say clergy, it's the religious leaders such as the priest, mga pare, and the monarch. So when we say monarch, mo na ang monarch or monarchy. So it means nga the leaders are king and queen, while um the second estate means the nobility. So mga naay mga maharlikang dugo. And the third estate is to the means to the balance of the 18th century French population as contrasted the poor countries to the first world, the non-communist, a high-income developed countries, and the second world, the communist countries which thought as not wealthy as those of the first world were then characterized by greater order, higher incomes, and longer life experiences. So when we say ay di ba ingon si kani si Alfred Sauvy siya man ang gahimo aning word nga third world. So iyahang ingon siya nga ang third world daw gi-compare niya to the third estate. So when we say third estate, um mao ni ang country nga contrasted to the first and second world. So ang kasagaran labot ang kaning third world is kasagaran ni kanang wala nga ay kasagaran countries and is katong wala na belong sa first and second world. So also, the third world refers to economically weaker nations and it has high poverty rate and economic instability. So, third world arose during the Cold War and it was used to define countries that remain non-aligned with either NATO or Warsaw Pact. So, when we say NATO, it is an organization, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So, kasagaran bilong aning NATO is katong naa sa north such as the North America and the European countries. So kaning NATO mo ni ang mga high income countries and developed countries while the Warsaw Pact ang una ang NATO nabilong ni siya sa first world ug ang kaning Warsaw Pact mo ni nabilong sa second world or or kasagaran sa Warsaw Pact is belong to the global south while the NATO is sa global north. So kaning Warsaw Pact mo ni ang USSR or mo ng mga country nga belong sa USSR. While ang kaning third world wala ni siya na belong sa either sa NATO or sa Warsaw Pact. So example nga country nga belong sa third world is the Philippines. So Philippines is not included in NATO. Okay, we know nga di jud siya ma-include sa NATO kay we are not located in North Atlantic and also di sa tabilong sa Warsaw Pact. So why we say that Philippines is belong to third world because we know that Philippines has a high poverty rate and we also have the economic instability. So we know that Philippines daghan jud siya kanang mga utang to the other countries. So we are not developed countries. Maybe we are underdeveloped or developing countries, but we are not developed countries. Next is most people in the third world, though ruled by European colonies, live far from global sources of economic, political, and military power. Until very recently, most were subjugated, most illiterate, and few may have been aware that, even then, they form a majority of the world population. So, kasagaran daw country sa third world was colonized. So, Philippines was colonized by European. Specifically we are colonized by Spanish. So during atong colonization era, we know that Philippines kay kanang ladyo jud siya sa economic and political and military power. So ladyo jud di ta kapriha sa global north kay we are colonized. So and then during sa atong colonization era, the kanang most were subjugated, which means brings under domination or control. So we are controlled by the country. We are controlled by the Spanish that time, and most illiterate. So when we say illiterate, no read, no write. So don't know how to read, don't know how to write, and few may have been aware about that. So Filipinos are aware nga daghan jud nga di ka basa, di ka ba musuwat kay during katong kong pag colonization era dili jud ay murag bitaw ay example katong pag Spanish mo tawag ka ng dili pwede nga makahibaw ta mo suwat, makahibaw ta mo basa kay if makahibaw mo kaana ay samot na if kuan jud ka wal kanang you don't have the power bitaw and the influence and the money. So kanang mahadlok man gud tong pagkatong sa Spanish mahadlok man gud sila nga mahibaw-an ang unsa bitaw ang ilhang gipangbuhat bitaw. And also recently Philippines are ranked sa katong di kay ay kanang rank sa kanang countries nga low ang kanang intelligence sa science and sa math. But bisan pa ana, but such awareness was growing among leaders within these poor countries, many of whom had been educated at least partly in Europe or America. Thus, awareness and exposure to Western culture raise expectations and hopes and inspire many third world leaders to try to improve colonial living conditions and win political independence. And opposition to domination by the First World also grew through increasing migration and travel, including the stimulated by the two world wars. Many troops who have participated in those wars, particularly on the Allied side, were from what soon to be called Third World. Many troops who had participated in this war, particularly in the Allied side, were from what soon to be called the Third World. So next is the global conception emerged from the experiences of Latin American countries. So growth rate in some Latin American countries have surprised many. They have been continuously high for some years and promise to be so in the next period as well. Latin Americans' contributions are especially visible and relevant, such as regionalism, security management, and Latin America's relation with the outside world. So also this Latin American, we notice di ba nga kasagaran kanang example sa Miss Universe nga kasagaran mga Latin American mukha jud na sila og kanang translator or interpreter because bisag sa Amerika sila nga side di sila kaadyo kasabot mo in English. It's because Latin America are also colonized by the European colonies. So as of now, ang Latin America are now the developing country and also in contribute na sila sa regionalism, security management, and the relations with the outside world. So kaning Latin America, and we know that it belong to global south, but they're trying their best nga makapreha sila sa North America. Latin America are trying their best and also they promise that they will do better when it comes to economic stability, political, and even military power. So also Latin America has a great contribution in regionalism, security management, and even they expand their relations to the outside world. So that's all. Thank you.